Technique number 17 for the orange belt in the Kenpo Karate for Christ curriculum is locking horns. We're back to the locking techniques for this one, and in this level we saw before headlock was our attack. Again, we're going to use a headlock, but we're changing the position. Instead of them being using their right arm, so they're on your left side and they pull you forward with that headlock, they're going to be in front of you, and they're going to set up by reaching over the top of your head, pulling you down. And from the front, wrapping your head with your body this way. Boom. Got your head this way as they wrap their arm around. The danger here, again, as it was in the last one we talked about, that headlock position can easily become a choke. We're assuming at this point that because of this danger level, this particular choke is called the guillotine, where you wrap it around the top of their head from the front. And it's real easy to pull up on your arms, kind of choking them out, and at the same time kind of arching your back that way. You get a lot of leverage on the neck muscles, and it's hard to get out of once it's locked on. So we're going to treat this, even though it's a headlock technique, we're going to treat it with a little more severity than we did grip of death. Grip of death, that side headlock, they don't have, even if they go for the choke, they don't have as dangerous a position in that case. This time from the front, they've got you top heavy, bent over, and they've got their arm around your head, and it easily can become a choke. And then all they have to do is kind of arch their back and pull up, and they've got you in a guillotine, and that's a dangerous place to be. You don't want to end up there. So, for starters, with locking horns, and again, you think like you're the deer, and they've got your head locked up. If the deer was trapped in, something that way, you're trapped that way, and that's where the technique gets its name. Now, the first step you want to do in this case is, again, they've got you kind of tabletopped. You want to step forward, and as you do, we're going to drop down to this close kneel position here, this lunge position as you step forward with the right. At the same time, with my left hand, I'm going to turn towards the fingers turning towards me, and I'm going to use the palm and push it against their right knee. Lock that leg straight, push that leg back this way. So I'm pushing on their right as I step forward there. And it'll force that leg straight in. Now the right hand is going to use our ridge hand. So that's the new weapon for this technique. The new type of fist that we have, the striking implement with the hand. And in this case, you've seen that the sword hand will hit with the bottom part. This time we're going to use the top. And we're going to tuck the thumb as far as you can, all the way across your fingers here. And we want to use this flat part here, the thumb, and kind of towards the wrist. And you can hit pretty hard with this. You can even use this on skeletal targets if you condition your hand to do it. I don't want my fingers to come loose because they'll bang together that way. I certainly don't want to hit with the fingers. We only want to hit with this, like from the end of the thumb down towards the wrist, this real kind of flat part of the hand. And in this case, we're going to come up vertically that way, between their legs. Again, we're going to use the groin in this case because you're in a position that become really dangerous, really fast, and we just don't want to take any chances. So, they've got your tabletop, we're stepping forward, pushing. At the same time, this just kind of hinges fast, right between the legs. Boom! There. Now, that should create a reaction in them right away because the groin is one of the primary targets. That's why Kenpo as a system uses it so often. Now granted, Kenpo Karate for Christ being a Christian system, I'm often changing the targets in that sense because I want the amount of force we use relative to the danger of their attack to be appropriate for someone who has a Christian worldview. And it's just not appropriate for some of the danger levels of these attacks for you to be hitting the groin each time. This is one of them, though, that can get pretty dangerous. So it merits this level of force here. And where striking the groin area is a primary target, meaning that it should always get a reaction. No matter how strong the person is, what their pain tolerance is, a good hit to the groin, it'll do what it's supposed to do. There's always one below the hips for primary target, and above, that would be the eyes. You'll always get a reaction if you hit somebody in the eyes, just self-defense, good self-defense philosophy there. And then you can mix those up. Go low, go high. It's hard to track. Are they hitting to the eyes? You hit to the eyes, they come back, that gives you the groin. Hit to the groin, they come forward, that gives you the eyes. So you can just playing with those primary attacks come up with a lot of good self-defense techniques, very practical, using the groin and the eyes as your target and training up the tools that you use and how you hit those. But with all that said, we're going to step forward here, thrusting, locking horns, and we're pushing on their knee and hitting to the groin. Now from here I should, because that's a primary target, be able to slip my head out. And if you can slip your head out of their hold, I'm going to track up their body, and we're going to use that obscure elbow again, catching them under the chin. As you stand up, you'll catch them under the chin with this obscure elbow. Now with Fang and the Cobra, we saw this horizontal elbow, which was met with this horizontal heel palm, and both came together. We kind of sandwiched their head with both sides that way. Heel palm to one, elbow to the other, same time. This time with locking horns, we're going to come up and we're going to keep that at its height because it will take more time to drop this down level. From right there, I'm going to do the same smash. Heel palm with the left, elbow with the right, but I'm going to do it on a diagonal vector. High on the right, going down towards the left, and coming up towards the right with the left hand. And as I do that, you'll probably have to push drag forward a little bit because as this elbow comes up, hits them in the chin, it's going to knock them back that way. So we'll have to move in for that final finishing move there. The whole thing, locking horns, we push, reach hand to the groin, hold my head out, obscure elbow to the chin, I move in, elbow smash, and this is to the jaw this time. Hitting to the left side and hitting to the right, same time, crashing down. And that is locking horns.